The skyline of Miami on an absolutely beautiful South Florida evening. The full moon peeking through the clouds. Temperature around 75 degrees and 75,000 on hand. Sellout crowd for Monday Night Football. The Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Miami Dolphins. Hello again, everyone. Frank Gifford with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf. Happy you're with us. Good AFC matchup for you tonight. The Steelers and the Dolphins. The Dolphins coming into tonight are 6-5. Of course, their playoff hopes are still there. But you get a feeling that this is a work in progress for their first-year head coach, Jimmy Johnson. He's looking down the line a couple of years, but he has a future Hall of Fame quarterback, Dan Marino, who's healthy once again. And Dan Marino can change the entire aspect of a football game just by his sheer will alone. And we'll look for him tonight. He'll be throwing the ball plenty tonight. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers come in at 8-3 tonight in control of the AFC Central Division. They win tonight. They go 3 up on the Houston Oilers. But this is a Pittsburgh Steelers team trying to get back to the Super Bowl, Al. That is a troubled football team. They won last week against Jacksonville. They lost to Cincinnati the week before, but they have not played well on either side of the ball.
They're putting up some bizarre numbers too, Frank. They didn't even gain 200 yards last week. Mike Tomczak 7 of 24. And on the season, a team that's 8-3 has a quarterback who has thrown more interceptions than touchdown passes. They don't expect Tomczak to win games by himself or with his arm. They just want Mike to keep them in games, and that's exactly what he's done. And give the ball to Jerome Bettis-Salato, came into this weekend as the #2 rusher in the National Football League. But like the Steeler teams of yore, this team wins because of a great defensive unit. They lost All-Pro linebacker Greg Lloyd on opening day, but Bill Cowher has kept this team together, and the defensive unit is ranked #3 of the National Football League. We asked Bill Cowher last night to sum up this team in one word. He said sporadic. He also said it's time to become consistent if they're to make a return visit to the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, they're 6-0 at home, 2-3 on the road. So a big game tonight in Miami, Dan, against a Dolphin team very much on the improve, having won their last 2 games.
And of course, everybody knows what a massive rebuilding job this is in Miami, Al. And when you talk to Jimmy Johnson, he's so thrilled that this isn't a team that's just treading water. This is actually a football team that is competing for a playoff position. A win tonight, and they go 7-5, and they're right in it. We talk about a massive rebuilding. Well, what is that? Well, remember a year ago we used to talk about this football team that it had 19 #1 draft choices. This was one of the most veteran teams in the league. Well, they had 10 rookies make their roster this year. 7 of them are going to start this ball game tonight. A full third of the starting members of the Dolphins tonight are going to be rookies. How have they improved? Well, keep in mind, we'll give you one number. Their last playoff game last year, when they were eliminated by the Bills, they gave up 341 yards rushing. This year, they come into this weekend ranked #3 in the league against the run, giving up less than 89 yards a game. A massive improvement. The guy responsible for all that is their head coach, Jimmy Johnson, and he's down on the field right now with Lynn Swann.
Thank you very much, Dan. One of the things Pittsburgh is known for, Jimmy, is their blitz. And this week, you've got 2 young bodies, one a rookie starting at offensive guard. How do you change what you do on offense, or do you change?
Well, then we haven't changed anything, and you're right. Pittsburgh's got the best defense in the NFL as far as giving you blocking problems, and those guards are going to have their hands full. But we feel like if we can protect and avoid the negative play, we can find some holes in that defense.
If your guys can protect, is it Danny Marino who can pick apart the secondary, or will you rely more on your rookie runner, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Well, we've got to run the football just a little bit just to keep them in sync and make sure we have some balance. But Dan will be the guy that's going to be able to make the plays against that defense.
Well, we'll be looking forward to it. Thank you, Jimmy.
Okay, man.
Al?
All right, thank you, Lynn. Beautiful night, big crowd, capacity crowd. Good matchup. Dolphins 6-5, Steelers 8-3, and Norm Johnson, who's been around a long time to kick off. Kirby Dardar and Irving Spikes back to receive. Norm Johnson in his 15th year from UCLA sends it skyward, and here we go from Miami, taken by Kirby Dardar at the 7-yard line. Running parallel along the 15, turns the corner and is thrust out of bounds by Deion Figures up at the 24-yard line. And now the Miami Dolphins. Dan Marino is a Pittsburgh native. Grew up in western Pennsylvania and attended the University of Pittsburgh. Broke his ankle in the Monday night game in September. Missed 4 games. 100% now. Abdul-Jabbar and Pritchett, the 2 rookie running backs. Barnett and McDuffie are the wideouts. And Drayton began the year as a Ram, the tight end. Webb, Bucky, Ruddy, McIver, and Brown up front. Lynn Swan talking about Bucky and McIver filling in for the injured Sims and Gray. We'll keep an eye on them all night long, and they begin with a run to the left side. Abdul-Jabbar across the 25. Picks up 2. Chad Brown making the stop. The Steeler defense, one of the few teams in the league still playing the 3-4. Buckner, Steed, and Henry do the dirty work up front, and they clean it up for Gilden, Kirkland, Olszewski, and Brown, the linebackers. Then the secondary, Woodson, an all-timer, and Williams at the corners, Lake and Perry, the safeties. Rod named to the All-NFL team on the 75th anniversary. As you look at Keith Sims, who's been an Iron Man until now, the guard who will be out for a week or 2. Second down and 8. And Marino's first pass of the night is caught up at the 29-yard line by Troy Drayton, the tight end. It'll be 3rd and 5. He's taken down by the linebacker Jason Gilden.
And you got a quick look at Pittsburgh, their first blitz of the night. Levon Kirkland coming in, having a great year, but and you would have to expect that they're going to do a lot of blitzing because they have 2 of these inexperienced linemen in there, and it's going to be key to protect Marino, but it's going to be very difficult against this blitzing defense.
And I think they're going to have to run patterns like the one we just saw Drayton run. Shorter crossing patterns so that there's always someone pretty close to Marino that he can dump the ball in a hurry. You run the risk when you blitz Dan Marino. He's the best ever at reading and reacting and releasing in a hurry.
And out of the shotgun, Marino throws, and it's caught just enough for a first down. O.J. McDuffie reaches out, puts the ball down on the chalk at the 35-yard line, tackled by Darren Perry, and Miami with the game's initial first down.
He is their 3rd down guy. So many times they will go to McDuffie, and that time the Steelers showed the blitz at the line of scrimmage, then they got out of it. Actually, Woodson came from the outside, got the tight coverage, and Perry was able to make the stop, but not until McDuffie gets the first.
First down at the 35-yard line. Marino buys time with a good play fake and then throws, and it's caught up at the 46-yard line by McDuffie. And that's close to a first down. Should be enough. Willie Williams with the coverage.
Well, we have a lot of football to play, but so far the Pittsburgh Steelers have come at the Dolphins, and the Dolphins have responded offensively. Look at the time and the view that Dan Marino has downfield. Really good coverage by Willie Williams all over McDuffie, who got a very fortunate bounce of the football and was able to control it. But you just can't give a guy like Marino a look like that and expect it to be an incomplete pass.
And notice how he always picks up the receiver with the single coverage.
I thought Williams actually hit McDuffie early. There was no flag, and McDuffie was able to keep control. And there's the guy that took over for Dom Capers, who went to Carolina, Dick LeBeau. He will send them and send them and send them.
First down from the 45-yard line, and it's Abdul-Jabbar probing the middle. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out of UCLA. His name is Sharman Shaw, and he changed it before his senior season. Jimmy Johnson drafted him, and he's given him the starting role along with the blocking back, Pritchard. So Jimmy Johnson, as Dan said at the top, a coach not afraid to play the kids, and this is a team, as Frank said, a work in progress, and the Dolphins will be probably on a very upward moving graph over the next couple of years.
Well, if they have any more drafts like the one they had in 1996, look out. Getting a lot of productivity out of this draft.
2nd and 9. Marino out of a 2-back set this time throws, and that's caught at the 42 of Pittsburgh by Fred Barnett, who started the season having surgery, and it was big-time knee surgery, not the arthroscopic kind, but they didn't put him on injured reserve, and back he came at the end of October.
Well, he had a full reconstruction ACL. They put a cadaver ligament into that knee in August. Is just remarkable. He was working out within 6 weeks. He's back playing full-time now. Started last week, but Barnett will make a big difference for Dan Marino. He is a great receiver when he's healthy, and he appears to be just that.
Marino, a hot hand on the opening drive. Danny is 4 of 4 from the 42-yard line, back to the ground, and Abdul-Jabbar swings to the outside, crosses the 40, taken down at the 39-yard line by Darren Perry after a pickup of 3.
Question for you, Dan. Two inexperienced guards in there. We're talking about Bucky and McIver. And Chad Brown a little shaken there.
Well, he came into this game with a sore ankle, and Chad Brown leads the Steelers with 10 sacks, and he took the outside linebacker spot of that man right there, Greg Lloyd. And right now, a man who came in with a sore ankle looks like it's a lot more sore than it was the play before. The Steelers can't afford to lose Chad Brown.
From the 38-yard line on 2nd down and 7, Abdul-Jabbar, same play inside the 35 and taken out at the 33, a little short of the first by Darren Perry.
And they came right at Chad Brown. A great lead block, and to put Brown on the ground, and now he's going to have to leave the ball game.
Limping.
Yep, there is no mercy in this game. Chad Brown got up limping. The Dolphins come right back at him. Take a look at him. He's going to go upfield, and an excellent lead block by Pritchett puts him down and puts him out of the ball game.
Well, he was just in there to see if he could go tonight. He limped through practice this past week, and he obviously can't. He's going to have to sit down, and it'll make a big difference for the Steelers.
Dante Jones, second-year linebacker out of Nebraska, number 54, takes that spot. 3rd and 1, a big hole over the left side for Abdul-Jabbar, takes it to the 20, tackled by Perry. Another Miami first down.
When they came right back where Chad Brown would have been.
Well, and they come with a double blitz, Frank, right over the 2 guards. And right now, Bucky and McIver, the 2 guys filling in for Gray and Sims, are not just holding their own, they're winning. There's Bucky right there with the lead block. Abdul-Jabbar untouched till he's about 8 or 9 yards downfield. A most impressive start for the Dolphins.
And now Irving spikes in the backfield as Abdul-Jabbar gets a rest. First down at the 20-yard line, and they give it to Irving Spikes. And Spikes this time finds nothing over the left side. Jerry Olszewski, the inside linebacker who played his college ball at the University of Pittsburgh, makes the stop.
Go back to the question I wanted to ask you, Dan, as an offensive lineman. When you have 2 inexperienced guys in there like Bucky and McIver replacing Sims and Gray, is it better to work on the run during the week, run on the pass? What can they pick up the easiest?
Well, yeah, the run would be the easiest to pick up, because the run you're moving, it's the intricacies of pass protection, I think, would be their biggest problem, and where they spent the bulk of their time working during the week. There's a lot more communication between the linemen, between the center, the guards, and the tackles on their pass pickups than there is in their run blocking.
2nd and 10. Marino is 4 for 4. And now he is 5 for 5 on a short gain. Troy Drayton loses his helmet, stays with it, makes the catch over the middle. Carnell Lake that time coming in and putting the pressure on Dan Marino.
And of course, you mentioned Carnell Lake. He's a free safety coming on a blitz. It gets redundant doing a Steelers game to mention the word blitz. It's almost an every down occurrence where somebody comes on some type of a blitzing scheme from the Steelers.
And you rarely can pick them all up, and it behooves Marino to make a quick read and get rid of it.
3rd and 5. The Dolphins have had the ball for half the first quarter. No score. This is the game's opening drive. Inside handoff to Bernie Parmalee, and his first carry of the night takes it to the 5-yard line. So the Dolphins, on a beautifully executed drive. Marino's been perfect. Gary Stevens, the offensive coordinator, on the right. 3 different guys have carried the ball, and it's 1st and goal.
Well, Gary Stevens wins that one because Rod Woodson comes on a corner blitz, but he's coming from the left. Watch, there he comes in. He's chasing Parmalee. So Gary Stevens hits a home run, calling the run that happened to be going away from where the Steelers and Woodson came on the blitz. That's just luck. Well, maybe Gary Stevens knew they were going to blitz, but that's a fortunate call.
1st and goal is the 13th play of a drive. And Abdul-Jabbar gets about half the distance, takes it to the 2-yard line. Levon Kirkland makes the tackle, and the Dolphins have had the football for 8.5 minutes.
And they surprisingly have done so well with Bucky and McIver filling in there. They've been able to run the ball. They picked up the blitz on almost every occasion. Sometimes a man came in free. Marino was able to pick up the read. He got rid of the football before they could get to it. They're doing a great job.
Andrew Franklin's record goes down in this, the 12th game of the season, rookie rushing mark. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar etches his name into the record book at 2nd down and goal from the 2.
Oh, Dan Marino saw Carnell Lake cheating up off the edge, and he went to change it.
And then the Steelers changed, and he had to call timeout.
Yep. Well, the Dolphins have had the ball for 9 minutes, 1 second, but there's still no score. 9 minutes, 1 second into the game. We still have not seen the Steeler offense. The Dolphins, on a beautiful drive, have a 2nd down and goal at the 2-yard line after taking that last time out. A beautifully conceived drive, and the script master right there, Gary Stevens.
And he has to be mighty pleased.
I talked to him before the game, and I asked him about the 2 youngsters he was starting. He looked at me and I said, I didn't mean to ruin your night.
As of right now, that appears to be a non-story.
They're doing a great job. Jeff Bucky and Everett McIver.
2nd and goal. And Marino hands the ball off. And gain of a half a yard or so. Abdul-Jabbar just inside the 2-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
And Chad Brown is back on the field for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's back at his linebacking position. There he is, and he brings his 10 sacks and a pair of interceptions back into that Steelers huddle. Problem for Pittsburgh, he's going to be a free agent at the end of the season.
3rd and goal. Bernie Parmalee in the game as the 3rd down back. Marino best in the league in completion percentage in the red zone this season. Out of the gun, throws, touchdown, O.J. McDuffie.
Oh, and what a clutch receiver O.J. McDuffie has turned into. Always the man they look to on 3rd down. Now they get 3rd and goal, O.J. McDuffie.
Well, they came with a blitz off that corner, and Myron Bell got it wrong. He had the coverage on McDuffie and overplayed it to the inside. You see Lake come on the blitz. Bell not in a position, not prepared for an outside break by McDuffie. That's a pretty easy touchdown.
Joe Nedney now for the point after. And whistles sound before the snap. First whistle we've had. Walt Coleman refereeing his first Monday night game.
False start prior to the snap. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty.
Jeff Bucky.
Well, if that's the worst mistake the rookie makes here tonight, I think the coaching staff can live with it.
Yep.
Although with Nedney kicking,
yeah,
anything's possible.
You're right.
Interesting time to be offsides though on a conversion attempt, wouldn't you say, Dan?
Yes.
Left side of your screen, 77.
Yeah, you see him. He's down in the stance. He can't move. And Nedney is a bit erratic. That last extra point wasn't good by a lot.
But he bangs this one through. That's the consummate drive. 9 minutes 45 seconds, 15 plays. They gain 38 yards rushing, 38 yards passing. Absolute perfection. 7-0 Miami.
There's the Miami Dolphin offensive line sitting on the sidelines in front of the fans. They've worked up a pretty good lather here, and there's the quarterback brain trust. From an offensive lineman's perspective, drives just don't get a whole lot better than that.
Joe Nedney kicking off, and it's taken at the 10-yard line by Ernie Mills on a kickoff that might have gone out of bounds. But Mills runs it back out to the 24-yard line, tackled there by special teams maven Larry Izzo. 5:05 remaining in the quarter as Tomczak gets ready to come in. 7-0 Miami.
That's a look at the forearm of Mike Tomczak, the Steeler quarterback, who has all the formations and everything down there.
And he will.
He's been here 3 years. I mean, you think you'd have that down.
He'll be having Bettis and Lester behind him. Johnson and Yancey Thigpen, who was hurt the first half of the season. Bruner, the tight end. Jackson Wolford, the great Dermontti Dawson. Myslinski for the injured Stye. Brendan Stye and Justin Strolzik, the interior 5. From the 24-yard line, the first offensive play of the night for the Steelers is a 5-yard pickup by Jerome Bettis up to the 29-yard line. He's tackled there by Dwight Hollier. Dolphins play a conventional 4-3. 2 rookies on the left side, Shane Burton and Darrell Gardner, their top pick out of Baylor, with Tim Bowens and Danny Stubbs with 8 sacks. Hollier, Zach Thomas, and what a story he is, which we'll detail as we go along, and Chris Singleton, the linebackers. Buckley and Jackson at the corners. Oliver and another rookie, Sean Wooden, are the safeties.
There's Brendan Stye. He's got a damaged elbow. He's been out for 6 weeks. Probably be back next week.
Tomczak, deep drop on 2nd and 5. Hits Bettis underneath. And Bettis, the monster truck, takes it to the 43-yard line. Zach Thomas, the linebacker, tracks him down there.
And I think he was Zach's man coming out of the backfield. Zach got caught looking into the eyes of Mike Tomczak. Tomczak looked him off a little bit, and Bettis came perfectly free and gets a big pickup. See number 54, he's looking right at Mike Tomczak, and here comes Bettis out of the backfield.
They don't throw to Bettis that often. It's only his 18th catch in this game, number 12. 15-yard pickup. First down. Pittsburgh at the 44 with Miami up 7-0. And there's Bettis finding some room over the left side, but Lewis Oliver, the hard-hitting safety, comes up to knock him down after a gain of about 3.
Well, Miami is going to have to stop Jerome Bettis. They should take the risk on Tomczak getting the completions, but they do have to stop Jerome Bettis, or this game could go right down the tubes for them.
And before they get to Bettis, they have to deal with Jackson, Wolford, Dawson, Mislinski, and Strelzik. Maybe the best run-blocking offensive line in the National Football League. One efficient unit.
2nd and 6. Caught a glimpse of the defensive coordinator, George Hill, as Tomczak throws, and that's at the 32-yard line, taken in by Charles Johnson somehow, some way. Wooden makes the tackle, and a first down at the 32-yard line.
Well, credit that run-blocking offensive line, Dan, with picking up a blitz on the part of the Miami Dolphins, giving Tomczak all that time. The ball was poorly thrown, and Johnson makes a superb catch. But this completion was due to the picking up of the blitz by the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line.
Yancey Thigpen also running a crossing route over the middle, reached up to try to one-handed. First down from the 33-yard line, and that's Andre Hastings who makes the catch. Hastings had been starting while Thigpen was mending that hamstring pull, and right now he's the number 3 wide receiver, forced out by Terrell Buckley.
Again, pretty good protection for Tomczak. Tomczak is 6'1", if he's 6'1", and that's not tall for a quarterback. You can see sometimes you got to throw between people.
2nd and 7 at the 29-yard line. 2 minutes to go in the quarter with Miami leading 7-0. And Jerome Bettis, and they converge on him as he takes the handoff. Daniel Stubbs and Tim Bowens in the middle of the action.
Well, that's just good penetration on the part of the Miami Dolphins.
Well, Danny Stubbs comes off the corner. I think Bruner, the tight end, is supposed to get a shoulder into him, and he really doesn't. Allows Stubbs. There's Stubbs at the top. You see Bruner late coming off the ball. He didn't stop Stubbs whatsoever, and he slices around that corner and gets into Bettis.
3rd down and 7, and they have Cordell Stewart, the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, slashes in the game. And Tomczak throws and tries to get it to Stewart, and it's almost picked off by Calvin Jackson. 4th down.
Oh, he was looking at 6 points. Could he hold on? 5 receivers, a lot of pressure on Tomczak, and almost picked off.
Mike almost gave you the impression that he was throwing it out there into the flat, whether or not he was covered or not. Breaking to the outside is Stewart. And Jackson looked like he was running a crisper pattern than Cordell Stewart.
Now a 47-yard field goal attempt. Tomczak to hold.
Always keep that in mind that the quarterback is holding.
Norm Johnson from 47 yards, and the kick is good. So Johnson and his wife celebrating the recent birth of their 3rd son. And he celebrates with a 47-yarder to culminate this drive. 1:15 to go in the quarter. Miami 7, Pittsburgh 3. Each quarterback throwing for 38 yards on the opening drive. The difference was Miami also gained 38 on the ground and got the touchdown. Tomczak's Steelers settled for the field goal. It's 7-3. Miami up by 4 with 1:15 to go in the quarter as Norm Johnson kicks off. Good deep kick, taken 2 yards in the end zone by Irving Spikes. And Spikes hit hard up at the 17-yard line. Tim Lester, the blocking back, the fullback who helps pave the way for Bettis. 1:04 to go in the period. Marino ready to go back to work, up by 4. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by the complete line of 1997 Lincoln and Mercury automobiles. Norelco Reflex Action Razor. Anything closer could be too close for comfort. Prudential, bringing strength and stability to America's families through insurance, healthcare, real estate, and financial services. And Dr. Pepper, and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered.
Is that an endangered species up there? Look at that.
A shot, great shot, downtown Miami. Mark. First down for the Dolphins at the 17, up by 4 as they begin this drive on the ground. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar takes it up to the 22-yard line behind a Robert Wilson block. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Well, the Dolphins have been talking for years about getting a running game going, and they have been, if nothing else this year, much more persistent about it, though not necessarily more effective. They did begin the year grinding out a lot of yardage on the ground as they picked up 3 victories in their first 3 games, but the running game has leveled off of late.
Yeah, they're only averaging about 100 yards a game. But I think if I'm Dan Marino, I look at what's happening to John Elway with a running game, and I hope that could happen to me.
2nd and 5. Marino showing mobility, throws, finds the open man. It's Freddie Barnett up to the 45 and a first down. Willie Williams makes the tackle and what will be the final play of the opening period.
Oh, it was John Elway, Dan, but Dan showing a little agility, limping out there to the right. Take a look at it again. Barnett coming from the opposite side of the field. Now he knows Marino's in trouble, and he keeps it alive, giving him the angle. Good move by Barnett, and good delivery by Marino.
End of 1. Miami 7, Pittsburgh 3. Monday Night Football back after this message and a word from our ABC station. We're back in Miami. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf, and Lynn Swan.
Al's got the stripes on there.
going to jail. We start the second quarter. 7-3. Miami on top as they begin the second quarter with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar taking it to the short side of the field, crossing the 50, a 7-yard gain, stopped by Perry and Olszewski. First quarter statistics with Miami up by 4. Marino leading that 76-yard drive with a lot of balance. There it is, 43 yards on the ground and 61 in the air.
The one number you know will go up will be that rushing yardage for the Steelers. Only 9 yards in the first quarter. They only had the ball for 4 minutes, but Jerome Bettis will touch the football a lot tonight.
Marino is 7 for 7 through the air tonight. They stay on the ground here, and Abdul-Jabbar takes it to the 43-yard line for a first down. Marino last week ended the game in Houston by completing his last 7. Starts tonight by completing his first 7. The club record is 15, held by, you want to guess? That man. He did it in 92, so he's 1 shy of equaling his own mark.
It wasn't Earl Morrall?
No. Or David Woodley.
Well, 40 pages in the Dolphin press guide for Dan Marino, and almost every one of them deals with some kind of a record and has all the major categories.
And with this running game that the Dolphins are bent on developing, Dan Marino, if you talk to Dan or to Jimmy, another 3 or 4 years.
Trying to stay perfect, but the rush is on, the coverage is good, and that's his first incomplete pass of the night as he throws it away.
Well, the running game has already affected him. He came into this weekend as the leading passer in the National Football League. He hasn't led the league in passing going back to what, 1984, I think, when the Dolphins went to the Super Bowl, and he had that incredible year of 48 touchdown passes and
5,000 plus yards.
Yeah, just remarkable. I remember we did that game. Al, you were with us, and we thought, boy, we're going to see him many, many times. And I certainly would like to see him back in one before it's over.
2nd down and 10 at the 43-yard line. Marino with great protection, and it's simply dropped over the middle. That's Stanley Pritchett, the rookie fullback out of South Carolina, and a guy who can catch the ball. He came into tonight's game as their 2nd leading receiver behind only O.J. McDuffie.
Yeah, he was a great receiver at South Carolina. They got him in the 4th round. Some of these rookies they're starting, you mentioned, Al, they started 7 of them tonight, but they're like 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round draft picks. They got one number 1 that started Daryl Gardner, a tackle, but Pritchard was one of them, a 4th round pick, 62 receptions as a senior. So he's a good receiver. Just took his eyes off that one.
3rd and 10. That means Bernie Parmalee is in the game as the 3rd down back. And Marino guns one to the near side, and that is incomplete. Barnett, the intended receiver, and Dion Figures was right there. And Jimmy Johnson saying, "Where's the flag?"
Boy, Dion had some superb coverage there.
Boy, and Dan Marino took a shot back in the pocket as well. That's one of the few times tonight that he got pasted. Chad Brown, number 94, gets inside Richmond Webb, and he puts that helmet right on the ribs of Marino. Don't forget, Dan Marino missed most of 4 games with a broken ankle earlier this year.
John Kidd, the league's leading punter, averaging 47 yards per boot, bounces this one at the 10, and a beauty down inside the 5 by Tim Jacobs. John Kidd having a Pro Bowl type of season. 13-18 to the half. Dolphins by 4. Some stars and stripes coming down from Pompano Beach, looking down into this facility, built or helped put together by the late owner of the Dolphins, Joe Robbie, and until recently named in his honor. Sold out tonight. Pittsburgh at their own 3-yard line, 1st and 10. Down by 4, and Jerome Bettis tries to give him some breathing room and takes it up to the 5-yard line. Pickup of a couple. Bettis coming over after 3 years with the Rams, got off to a tremendous start when the Rams were still in Los Angeles, and then had sort of a washout year last year, became expendable. Bill Cowher traded for him. Meanwhile, Cowher on Monday night, does he love these lights? 9-1 on Monday Night Football, best record among the 25 coaches who coached 10 or more games. And the only loss was here last year to Miami. 2nd and 8 as Tomczak guns it, and it's incomplete, intended for the tight end Mark Bruner. Lewis Oliver with the coverage.
A lot of time for Tomczak, but good coverage on the part of the Dolphins. Plenty of time to look around, check off one receiver to another, to a 3rd receiver.
And he may have checked them all off, Frank, because every single one of them was smothered. George Hill, the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins, had to be pleased with that. And now the noise factor.
3rd and 8. Cordell Stewart is in the game.
7 defensive backs.
Tomczak throwing out of the end zone, and it's caught by Yancey Thigpen, and he takes it all the way out to the 39-yard line. Thigpen, who had a terrific year last year, hobbled with a hamstring injury this year, missed half the season, just rounding back into shape.
Boy, and Shane Wooden, the rookie free safety, made a mistake there. He went for the interception instead of knocking this ball away. Thigpen right between the two. Now watch number 22. He came in for the interception instead of going for the deflection, and gave up a big 1st down.
For a guy who was going for the interception, I agree. He goes even on the wrong side of the receiver. The ball's on the other side.
The rookies will do that.
That was a clean whiff by Wooden.
1st down, and a fake to Hastings, and everybody goes in that direction. Then a flip to Bettis. And Bettis picks up 11 before he's taken out of bounds by Singleton.
Now that was a good-looking play. That's a good-looking play. You work all week on drawing that baby up, and there's something that actually worked the way they drew it. Chan Gailey, the offensive coordinator, has to be thrilled with that.
When it's so important when you call it, you have to check the frequencies. You work all week, and
watch
for
the
an
block.
offensive coach, nothing is better than this.
Good block down there, Dermontti Dawson, as he puts Zach Thomas down. You're right, Frank. Boy, it's such a confidence booster to a team. You work on that play all week long, and then it works just the way you drew it up.
From the 48-yard line, Bettis bouncing his way for a gain of 7. Sean Wooden makes the stop at the 41-yard line.
That Steeler offensive line is beginning to take pretty good control of this game.
Magnificent look at the stadium here in South Florida. And Jerome Bettis is a running back that your only way to control him is to make him move at the line of scrimmage. You see on Monday Night Football so far this year, 2 games, over 100 yards in both of them. 18 yards so far on the ground. But he's just getting warmed up.
And he slips down here. He should have enough for a first down. Zach Thomas, the middle linebacker, is there. Will Wolford helped lead the way, but before he goes down, he should have enough for a first down. They spotted at the 37. They'll move the sticks with 10:35 remaining in the half, and Miami on top by 4.
Frank, just to finish my point about Bettis, he's a guy that you need to make him change directions at the line of scrimmage by either jamming the hole, make him go laterally. If you allow him to go straight up the field, he's a load. More than most people can handle one-on-one.
From the 37, they give it to Ernie Mills on the end around. Flip it to Mills, and he takes it to the 28-yard line. Ernie, like Thigpen, is a guy who'd been hurt. He was hurt in the Super Bowl last year, and it took him about 8 months to round back into playing form.
How about that block by Will Wolford? He just wiped out Calvin Jackson, the cornerback.
To help spring them. Next week, the 49ers make their second appearance on Monday Night Football this season. They go to Atlanta. The Niners are 9-3. The Falcons are 2-10. But the Niners have Carolina breathing down their necks right now in the NFC West. So the 49ers need a victory to stay on top in that division, assuming Carolina wins its game with Tampa Bay on Sunday. Second down and 1 rather from the 28-yard line as Eric Pegram picks up a first down. Pegram, a change of pace from Jerome Bettis, and a guy who in his own right could be a starter for a lot of teams.
I mentioned that block by Wolford against Calvin Jackson. Jackson's come out of the ball game. Take a little breather on the sidelines. He was really smacked by Wolford, who pulled from that left guard position.
Big Will.
7 years at Buffalo, 4 years at Indy. He's certainly taken advantage of free agency.
Yes, he has. At one time, he was the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL, and he's so doggone smart that he slides into any system without any downtime and picks it up immediately.
Tomczak under pressure, loses the football, and it's picked up at the 37-yard line by Shane Burton, the rookie from Tennessee. Gardner and Empman came in, knocked the ball loose. Miami has it, the football.
When somebody from Pittsburgh is still down on the ground, that's John Jackson, the left tackle. John Jackson's been their starting left tackle for many years. He's still down. And Tomczak, I don't know what he was trying to do with that football when he lost it. Big John Jackson over on the Steelers sideline. He walked off. It looks like he hopefully will be okay. He took a shot in the chest, actually, from his own receiver. Ernie Mills coming back to get in on the play. Hopefully just got the wind knocked out of him.
Now Miami up by 4. First down from the 38-yard line. Barnett makes the catch, and he loses the football, and it stays in bounds, and the Steelers have it. Darren Perry recovers. Willie Williams stripped it. Perry recovers it. Back-to-back turnovers. Steelers first down.
And it looked like he was going to go out of bounds, but it was Willie Williams. Actually, Barnett had the first down, and Williams just stripped the ball out. It stayed in bounds.
One of those deals, you know, Fred Barnett is trying to stay on his feet, trying to stay alive, trying to make something happen, and ends up making a mistake. If he just drops to the ground, the play's dead. But by his own effort, Fred Barnett was staying up. Thus, it's still a live football. Fred's trying to fight. Williams gets the arm on the ball. Back-to-back turnovers.
Fred Barnett lost the football. That's the 8th time this season a Dolphin has given up the football after making a pass reception. And now Pittsburgh at the 49-yard line. Miami shows blitz. Here they come. Tomczak reads it and throws incomplete. Zach Thomas crashing through, forcing the issue. Second down and 10. Monday Night Football from Miami is being brought to you by Miller Lite. When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good. Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most. And Infinity, the new Q45. Everything changes but the soul.
It must have just been a case of getting the wind knocked out of him. John Jackson, the left tackle, has started this series again for the Steelers.
Second down and 10, and here's Jerome Bettis bouncing his way to the 43-yard line. That's a gain of 5. It'll be 3rd and 5. Daniel Stubbs makes the stop. There's John.
One of the real indications of how good this Steeler offensive line is their yard per carry average. And again, we've got somebody from Pittsburgh banged up, and that's Dermontti Dawson, their all-world center. Ooh, bated breath in Pittsburgh as we wait to find out what's wrong with Dawson.
Indestructible one, Dermontti Dawson, up and off the field because of the injury timeout. In a situation like that, you have to sit out one play at the least. And so Jim Sweeney, the longtime veteran, the 13-year man who played his college ball at Pitt, is in there and snapping to Tomczak on 3rd and 4. And that's picked off at the 40-yard line. Intercepted by Calvin Jackson, who had an earlier interception go through his hands. This time he holds on and scores for Miami.
Every now and then, Mike Tomczak gives you the impression that he is throwing the football to a place without looking first or reading the coverage, Frank.
Went right into double coverage. Hastings was the intended receiver. That was one of the easiest picks that Calvin Jackson will ever have. Here's Hastings a little to the outside, stepping right in front of it. He had to see him. An easy 6 for Miami.
Well, no turnovers in the first quarter, and now we have 3 turnovers almost in succession here.
Nedney for the point after. Calvin Jackson has just scored his first National Football League touchdown.
He'll never get an easier one.
Nope. Kid born here in Miami and went to high school in Fort Lauderdale. Doing it for the home folks. 14-3.
Tried to throw it between his left guard and his left tackle. Didn't see the coverage. Didn't read it properly when he came up to the line of scrimmage. Threw it right in the hands of Calvin Jackson. Easy 6 for Miami.
Well, this Pittsburgh offense has not exactly been a well-oiled machine the last couple weeks. They really struggled in their game last week against Jacksonville. Al mentioned at the very beginning how Mike only completed 7 passes against Jacksonville. The week before, he was 13 of 28 with 3 interceptions against Cincinnati. They've been getting big plays on special teams and from their defense.
And the last time we saw him against Kansas City, what, 300 and some yards?
Right. Yep.
Well, Nedney has just kicked a touchback. However, I think it's going to come back because there are flags down back at the 30-yard line. And Walt Coleman will signify offside. He'll do it again.
Looked like the guy closest to the Miami sideline was that's, you know, there are some penalties that just should never, ever happen.
Like that one.
And being offsides on a kickoff coverage is one of them.
And frequent.
Offside, 49 on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, free kick.
Robert Wilson.
The special teamers today, they get so stoked up.
Mike Westhoff, a special teams coach. I mentioned before, I thought it was Walt Coleman's first Monday night game. He's in his 2nd year as a ref. It's actually his 2nd. He did the Minnesota-San Francisco game last year, and he must have done a great job. He said, if you don't remember him, he did a great job.
Nice try.
Yeah. Well, he's like an offensive lineman. You know, you don't get called for holding. Great job.
Did he call up here and tell you that?
No. Chad Brown
gave the Steelers a scare when he hobbled off early in the ball game, but he came back.
He talked about his 10 sacks, Dan. He's had a couple of fumble recoveries. He's had a couple of interceptions, and this is his first trip as an outside linebacker. I don't think you'll ever find him inside again. Of course, he replaced Greg Lloyd after that first game on the outside.
No, he doesn't want to go back inside.
Now Nedney's kickoff from the 25-yard line, and that's taken a couple of yards in the end zone, and he still gets his touchback down there by Pegram.
Take that.
Whoa. He spanked that.
He was just warming up on the first kick.
Well, now this is going to be interesting as far as Mike Tomczak is concerned. He's a veteran. He's been around a long time. In those dozen years, he's worked hard at learning how to not get rattled. But Frank, that's the type of a throw that rattles anybody.
Well, it will, but he is mentally tough. That's why he is there. Originally, Bill Cowher started early in the season Jim Miller in the first game. He put him down after that game, brought in Mike Tomczak. One of the reasons, he said, because of his maturity. He's a veteran. He doesn't rattle. And we know he will give us a stable operation at quarterback.
Dermontti Dawson back in the game at center. And Jerome Bettis picks up 3, takes it up to the 23-yard line. There's a flag down at the 25. So Coleman's crew all of a sudden getting busy. And this is offside against Miami. And they'll accept that and make it 1st down and 5.
Offside. Defense. Number 27. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Well, that's almost like being offsides on a kickoff coverage. When a cornerback is offsides for your defensive team, we've seen 2 penalties that should just never happen. Terrell Buckley in the neutral zone at the cornerback position.
1st and 5 now. Tomczak under pressure again. Hangs in the pocket, then throws, and it's caught.
Oh,
after
did he
Mark
get it?
Bruner juggled it. Did he lose the football?
That might be an interception. Well, how are they going to rule this? Oh, they're looking at each other.
Yeah, they have the look of a crew that's going to check, and they're not sure who has the football.
And meanwhile, Bruner might be hurt.
Sean Wooden came away with the ball, but there's been no signal from the officiating crew yet.
We've had no official. I thought
There still isn't.
I thought Miami came away with the ball. I thought Miami came away with the football.
Well, you've got an interference call against Miami.
Where's that flag?
I don't see a flag, and we haven't seen a possession signal yet.
Illegal contact on the defense. Number 27. That penalty's declined. 1st down.
It's Terrell Buckley.
Well, right now, by far and away, the most important thing right now for Pittsburgh is this injury to Mark Bruner. They're starting. There's Buckley on the left-hand side of your screen. He comes up and takes a shot at Andre Hastings. Looked like that was within the 5-yard zone.
It looked like it was in the 5-yard mark.
Yeah, that looked to me like it was no more than 3 or 4 yards downfield.
And away from the play, and Bruner is still down. It's a 36-yard pickup.
Bruner, their #1 draft choice of a year ago. He juggles the ball. Gets hit by Wooden.
I think it was taken away after he was down.
You couldn't see. Let's see. Maybe we can get a look where we can actually see the football.
Well, it's good concentration, too, on the part of Bruner.
Looked like that ball. Of course, you'd have to be looking right at the football. And the official, when the ball's between the 2 of them, obviously didn't see it. Good work, actually, by both those guys. Bruner sets it up by juggling the ball.
And it's a key play in as much as he was able to retain possession. Otherwise, all it is a 5-yard penalty instead of a 36-yard pickup.
And lost in all of that was the fact that Mike Tomczak was in all kinds of trouble. He had disappeared into the pass rush, and he came out and was able to calmly find Bruner and get the completion.
So Bruner is out. That means Jonathan Hayes, the longtime Kansas City Chief, now the Pittsburgh Steeler in his 12th season, in at tight end. Tomczak on a roll, comes back to the other side. This is John Whitman taking it inside the 40 and inside the 30 as well to the 29-yard line. John Whitman, a rookie out of Penn State, and a guy that Bill Cowher told us earlier this season. He says, I love this kid as a receiver, but that's his first catch of the year.
Well, that's one of those plays you work on. You work on because you have a young team defensively, and they're going to pursue everything. Tomczak with the roll to the right, he got the pursuit, and you screen it back to the against the grain, and that worked absolutely beautifully.
6:05 remaining in the first half. Miami up by 3. Cordell Stewart is in the backfield. He has the football. He pitches it to Bettis. Bettis inside the 20, and Bettis hog-tied at the 16-yard line by Lewis Oliver. Nice looking play.
Oh, and you'll never see a big man make that kind of a move on a defensive back. Terrell Buckley had him lined up in his sights, either closed his eyes or something, and Bettis broke it to the outside, and I don't think Buckley even touched it.
If Buckley was closing his eyes, it's because he was praying that Jerome Bettis would go away.
A little option down the line of scrimmage. Watch this. Buckley's 27. I think he did put the head down a little early.
His 1 foot slipped out from under him. Terrell Buckley would like to play this whole game without taking on Jerome Bettis one-on-one.
Here come the Dolphins on the blitz. They clog up the middle, but Bettis still turns no gain into a 3-yard pickup. Tackled by Calvin Jackson. Let's get a word from Lynn Swan. Lynn?
Well, Al, one of the reasons Pittsburgh may be trying a few more exotic plays is that Yancey Thigpen, number 82, the guy who's been hurt, bitten by the injury bug all season long, apparently is out again. He had the sock on his left leg down. He is limping noticeably. They have not determined just yet what that injury is, but he does have his helmet in his hand. Is giving no indication of coming back into this ball game. Al?
Yancey Thigpen, who missed half the year with a hamstring pull. 2nd down and 7 as Tomczak throws and just throws it out of the end zone. Andre Hastings, the nearest intended recipient. 3rd down. They're saying a strained left arch for Yancey Thigpen, who was just rounding into shape and in fact caught 2 touchdown passes last week against Jacksonville.
And then you could see that Mark Bruner was up on the table, and it looked like they were looking at his left knee.
Like a scene out of MASH.
All we need is Alan Alda.
I'll take Loretta Swit.
Why did I bring it up?
The question is, would she take you?
Well, Tomczak is going to take a timeout before a key 3rd and 7 call. As Pittsburgh, with 4:47 and a half, still trails by 11. When Pittsburgh gets in the red zone, they were having trouble earlier this season in September and October, but take a look at November. They've been in the red zone 11 times, cashed in with touchdowns on 9 occasions. They try to make it 10 of 12 here at a pretty critical time. They're down by 11 points. 4:47 to go in the half. 3rd down and 7 at the 12-yard line. Here come the Dolphins, all of them, and the pass is a little low and is caught by Hastings at the 6-yard line, but he's short of the 1st down. Tomczak with grass in his helmet thanks to Zach Thomas.
Thomas came in with nobody even touching him. It's right in Tomczak's face, and Tomczak was lucky to even get the ball to Hastings.
Well, they just came with more blockers and more men than the Steelers had blockers, and I see no kicker for the Steelers. They're going to go for it.
At least they're going to line up like they're going to go for it.
4th and 1.
And where will Cordell Stewart figure in all this? And Tomczak's going to take a timeout.
If you got somebody like Jerome Bettis on that offensive line, I think why not go for it here?
They take a timeout with 4:08 remaining in the opening half. Another peek.
Well, that
ball was on the ground.
Yep.
A marginal save.
Just because it had grass stains on it.
Whoa.
And it's going to make it 4th down and 1.
Now
at the 6.
Hastings playing devil's advocate here. Hastings caught that ball without the aid of the ground. I don't think the ground helped. Well, from that angle, it looked like the ground helped him. Well, so much for that.
Yep.
It was a good thought until I saw that angle.
But I'll tell you, regular speed though, that happened so quickly. That would be a hard one to. That would be a hard one to judge.
Well,
particularly nobody right on top of it.
It's the sawgrass here.
Regardless, well, we saw it hit the grass.
Yes. 4th and 1 at the 6. 4:08 to go in the half. And you've got Cordell Stewart at quarterback. That's how he figures, and he figures to pick up the 1st down as he takes it to the 5-yard line. Stewart, the short yardage quarterback. The Dolphins think they have stopped him short.
Think he's all the way?
He needed a half a yard. He got a 1st down.
Yeah. He got a full yard out of that. He's a good athlete, and he's strong. He's big. He goes about 215 pounds and a little over 6'1".
What's unusual tonight, he is the Steelers' 2nd quarterback. If anything would happen to Mike Tomczak tonight, Cordell Stewart would come in and quarterback the football team.
Well, he's staying in now because they're down at the 5-yard line.
They'll measure to make it official, but Coleman has already signaled 1st down. Not that couldn't be overruled by the measurement. Now it's official. I'll tell you, that was granted, it's early in the game. That's a pretty gutsy call by Cowher, because if you don't make it, you're a little deflated going in at the half.
Well, he's that decision made easier by the quality of that offensive line up front.
Cordell Stewart gives you a lot of options down here. One is a rollout with an option to either pass or run. Pretty good passer. He's not having the big numbers that he had a year ago, but he can do many things.
Stewart in quarterback on 1st and goal from the 5. Fake toss. It looks like a college play, and it works to perfection. Tim Lester for the touchdown.
Well, it is. It's the old option down the line of scrimmage until you tee off the defensive man, and then you flip it out.
What a nice bonus for Tim Lester. His first touchdown of the year, and only his 5th carry of the year, a guy that averages less than 2 yards a carry. He's Jerome Bettis' lead blocker. He pounds himself every week, and what a nice treat for Lester to get a touchdown out of
Great
this.
execution. Yeah. You saw Jerome Bettis banging into the middle of the line. That holds the defense for just a moment and perfectly executed beyond that.
Norm Johnson for the point after. And so the Steelers, in need of a good drive, get it. They go 80 yards. They convert on 4th and 1. The key play was that 36-yard pass to Bruner, and they draw to within 4. It's now 14-10 Miami. Let's go to New York. Check in with Chris Berman. Chris.
All right, Al, thank you. Coming up on our Toyota halftime report, we'll take back a look at a week in the NFL that certainly lived up to its number. 13, but there's nothing strange about that.
Carolina would indeed, Chris, host a playoff game, as hard as that is to believe for a team in their 2nd year in the National Football League. And
it's their head man, Dom Capers, came from right here in the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was the defensive coordinator that went down there and done such a great job.
And they're home next week against Tampa Bay. I'll tell you, one of the more fascinating matchups of this season is going to be the last week of the year, when Pittsburgh takes on Carolina, and that's not a particularly swell sight, obviously, with Thigpen and Bruner both going back to the locker room.
Wow.
Two of the 3
down.
starting receivers for Pittsburgh on their way to the locker room.
Johnson kicks off. It's taken by Irving Spikes at the 4. Maintains his balance, takes it back up to the 29-yard line. And the Miami Dolphins, a team that, to me, this game is far more important to them. I mean, Pittsburgh's in pretty good shape, thinking about home field and in control of their division. But this is really one of those fulcrum games for the Dolphins tonight.
You know, a year ago, the Dolphins were in exactly the same position. They were 6-5 right at this juncture a year ago. And, of course, they did make the playoffs. Probably wish they hadn't after they were destroyed up against Buffalo. And Don Shula will go on the Ring of Honor here at halftime, and that'll be quite a celebration.
Oh, this place will go bananas when Don walks out to midfield.
Miami first down from the 29-yard line as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar takes it up to the 34.
When you talk about this Dolphins football team, I think I can't help but think about, and by the way, there is the sign on the stadium wall here that'll be unveiled with Don Shula's name. I can't help but think about what Jimmy Johnson was talking to us last night about this football team, really the same record that they had a year ago, but how much different, how young it is. And this was, I think, a year that he was willing to write off. He's so pleasantly surprised that they're competing for a spot in the playoffs. This is really a bonus for this football team.
2nd and 5, and that's caught by Barnett, who gets whacked by Williams a little short of the first down. And along the way, he's also been able to get a salary cap situation that was out of control, under control in the process.
Dan talked about the 20 first-round draft picks that were here a year ago.
19.
They were great players. They just didn't get along with each other.
Even with $6 million in waste money next year, as we look at this completion to Barnett, even with $6 million in waste money, what that is, money that's allocated for people who aren't going to be here, the Dolphins are still going to be $3.7 million under the cap. He's going to have room to play next year and sign a couple free agents.
3rd and 1, and Abdul-Jabbar takes it across the 40 to the 41, and the maestro can go to work. Marino now with 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 2 minutes and all of his timeouts at his disposal, and Miami leads 14-10.
Detective Sipowicz. Should have been an offensive lineman named Sipowicz.
Well, the Steelers trying to avoid being black and blue as they've taken an 11-point deficit and closed to within 4. Marino on first down throws incomplete, intended for Abdul-Jabbar. 2nd down and 10.
Dan Marino, only 4 interceptions thus far this year. He has really benefited on the effort to run the football here in Miami. Coming into the weekend, leading passer in the NFL. It's all attributable to the fact the Miami Dolphins can indeed run the football and are genuinely trying to.
Now they give it to Stanley Pritchett, the fullback, up to the 46-yard line, the rookie out of South Carolina. Joel Steed, the nose tackle, makes the tackle. The Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. High above this edifice in North Dade County.
Great night to ride around up there.
The wind was howling here today. A very brisk breeze blowing off the Atlantic, but it has calmed down to nothing here in the evening.
3rd down and 5 now. Marino tries to convert and does. He hits Bernie Parmalee, and that's a first down to the 38-yard line. Jimmy Johnson says, give me a timeout, and they do, with $1:11 to play in the half. Miami did use a timeout on their first drive on that long 9-minute drive as they got down near the goal line, so they have 1 remaining now.
Again, great protection for Marino as he finds Parmalee, the second choice as a receiver.
Well,
terrific protection.
Frank Dick LeBeau, the coordinator for the Steelers, now finds himself in a quandary. That time he did not come after Marino. He went with a straight 4-man rush, didn't get anywhere near him, and it's kind of a it's so tough. I know that they've got the 2 new guys playing guards for Miami, but you also have Marino, the guy who can read and react to a blitz quicker than anybody. I'm not sure that I'd want to be Dick LeBeau tonight, to blitz or not to blitz.
You know, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Jeff Bucky, the starting rookie from Stanford, who went to my high school in Bakersfield, California. Old driller.
Yep. Meanwhile, college football coming up on Friday. Texas A&M and Texas gets it started at 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern. Then Colorado, Nebraska follows that on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, right here on ABC. First down and 10 at the 38-yard line.
Here comes the blitz.
Woodson on a corner blitz. Marino throws to McDuffie for a short gain. Stopped at the 33-yard line. Pickup of 5. Darren Perry with the tackle. The Dolphins conserving their final timeout.
And very conservative move by Woodson. 1-0 courtesy from 1-0 pro to another one. He didn't level Marino when he probably could have.
2nd and 5 now from the 33-yard line.
Here he comes again.
Yep, bottom of the screen, and he knocks it away. Rod Woodson, and there's no way you could miss him. Marino throwing in that direction. Incomplete 3rd down.
I think we see what Dick LeBeau is going to do. He sits in a conventional defense and gets burned. Now twice in a row he comes on the blitz, and it's successful for him both times. And that's just smart play by Woodson, realizing he's not going to get there. I think does this hit him in the helmet?
It does.
Right
in the helmet,
right between the eyes.
Well, he's had a good 3-game streak. 4 interceptions over the last 3 games. He makes things happen.
Pretty good vertical leap by Rod.
3rd and 5 now, and the Steelers jump.
Well, we might have had a false start.
It'll be Richmond Webb, the left tackle. Walt Coleman will give us the call.
False start prior to the snap. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
I don't know about you. I'd vote for Walt. He's got a good delivery.
He does. He sounds just like Ross Perot, doesn't he?
Yep.
Please. If he'd be holding up a chart or a graph to explain what was happening.
3rd and 10 after the penalty at the 38-yard line. Don Shula.
That man doesn't look like anybody other than Don Shula. The jaw. Here comes Woodson again.
Woodson, pressure, Marino in the grasp of Woodson, and then it's dropped. Scott Miller had a chance to make the catch, and it would have been a first down.
Oh, what a great throw by Marino. Dancing around with traffic all around him. Slipping out of the pocket. He doesn't do that very often, and he gets the ball absolutely in the hands of Miller, and he just can't hold on.
Well, Woodson playing cat and mouse with Marino. Woodson slid to the inside. That's
Look at that
Woodson.
throw.
I don't know how he got it there.
Meanwhile, they're going to attempt a 56-yard field goal, and timeout is taken here by Pittsburgh. Now, the danger, the biggest danger for Miami here is that with 34 seconds left, if you miss a 56-yard attempt, Pittsburgh takes over at its own 46-yard line.
Or you get it blocked. I mean, the trajectory has got to be low as the ball comes off the ground. This is natural surface. That'll make it even lower, and you have a much better opportunity to block it.
Well, and we're down here at sea level, too. A 56-yarder down here in this heavier air is going to require some boot by Nedney.
Longest field goal in the league this season is a 56-yarder. Al Del Greco of the Oilers kicked that one. Nedney's longest is 44 yards. Nedney got the job because of his kickoffs. Pete Stoyanovich and Nedney battled it out.
But a kickoff, as we all know, you don't have to worry about getting it up in a hurry.
So Nedney has the leg. The question is, does he have the accuracy? John Kidd to place it. And the kick is long enough but wide.
Well, none of those things happen.
So now Pittsburgh, with 27 seconds remaining, they have the ball at their own 46-yard line as they try to get into field goal range.
Just like a ball coming off a bat, the way it tails away, that thing hooked. Started out, it was between the uprights, but it just tailed off at the very end. Just slid outside the right upright, but it had the distance.
And we'll see Cordell Stewart now coming in.
Steelers will have to do this as you look at Don's reaction. Pittsburgh will have to do this now without a timeout. Their field goal kicker is Norm Johnson. Stewart is in the game, but as a receiver from the 46-yard line. Eric Pegram in the game at the running back spot, and the trips to the right. Three receivers. And it is caught by Johnson. Charles Johnson at the 33-yard line. Tomczak now with the clock ticking down without a timeout.
Well, they're well within field goal range.
Has to stop
now.
the clock here, and he does. Well, they're looking at a 51-yard field goal attempt. Now you've got one play if you want to run it, but you have to make sure you get out of bounds, or it's an incomplete pass, or you're not going to have a chance to kick a field goal.
This is a great catch.
Boy, a beautiful catch.
That takes such concentration. He loses it and rolls over and comes up with it. I talked to Norm Johnson, the field goal kicker for the Steelers, and I asked him, what's your max tonight? And he was kicking this way, and he paused for a moment. He said 55 yards.
Well, they'll take one more shot at the sideline. I don't think they have time to go to the end zone.
They don't. He's got to get out of bounds, and that's Johnson who makes the catch, and he does pick up a few more yards to the 29-yard line, and that makes it a 46 to 47-yard field goal attempt for Norm Johnson.
46 would be my guess. That's
Mike Tomczak will spot it.
Didn't seem like a spectacular completion, but that was definitely worth it. Darn right.
Means a lot to Norm Johnson.
Darn right.
Tomczak with his knee down at the 37-yard line. So a 47-yard attempt to try to get Pittsburgh within one. And Johnson with a low kick, and it's no good.
Ugly.
What was that?
Yeah, that's what Power wants to know. Well, that's the half as the Miami Dolphins lead it by a score of 14-10. Coming up at the half, our Toyota halftime report. Chris Berman along from New York with the highlights, and Tiger Woods, who will be playing in the Skins game this weekend, will be live from Southern California. So stick around as we return after this message from the National Football League and a word from our ABC stations.
Idea after another. That's Plymouth. Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be. And Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better.
Back in Miami, a spectacular shot. That's downtown Miami, about a 30-minute drive from Joe Robbie Stadium, assuming there's not a lot of traffic.
That's early in the morning.
It's going to be a lot longer than that.
About 4.
Yep. And in North Dade County, the edifice until recently known as Joe Robbie Stadium named for the late Dolphin owner and a man whose vision was to build a stadium out in this area, which he did. And the Dolphins have been playing here since '87. It's also the home of the Florida Marlins of the National League. Funny when you think of the coaches and managers in this city right now. Jim Leland, generally regarded as the best in baseball, is now the Marlins manager. Jimmy Johnson, his record speaks for himself. Don Shula, his predecessor. Doug McLean of the Florida Panthers, Stanley Cup finalist last year, and Pat Riley of the Miami Heat.
Off to a
Pretty
great
good
start
foursome,
this year.
huh?
Heat off to a great start.
Don Shula, and he was thanked by this big crowd at halftime for all the memories as they unveiled the plaque. Don coming out to a huge ovation.
And as he left the platform, the last hand he shook was that of Jimmy Johnson, and they unveiled the Ring of Honor designating Don Shula, head coach 1970 to 1995.
Second half begins with Joe Nedney kicking off to Eric Pegram, who takes it at the 2-yard line and runs into Bernie Parmalee up at the 17.
Boy, Bernie Parmalee, just one of those guys that you'd like to have about a half a dozen or so on your football team. Gets in a ball game, does it right, great on special. Good guy in the locker room. Just he is the type of a player that's just the heart and soul of a lot of teams around the NFL.
Leading rusher a year ago too, Dan. He can play it all.
Unselfish, and just every winning team has a lot of Bernie Parmalees.
Now the Steelers from the 18-yard line as we start the third quarter. Miami up 14-10. Mike Tomczak gives the ball to Jerome Bettis to the short side of the field. Up past the 20 and fights his way to the 23-yard line. Tackled there by Darrell Gardner, the Baylor rookie.
A good look there about the style of Jerome Bettis. Even though he is such a physically imposing man, such a large man, he's able to make people miss. He's so light on his feet and with such good balance. There's more to his running style than just pummeling people. Right there, he turned himself sideways, made a couple moves, and made 3 separate Dolphins miss him completely. It's that combination of speed, toughness, and agility that makes him the complete package.
Second down and 4. Bettis' 11th carry of the night. That's only a yard up to the 25. 11 carries now for 51 yards. Shane Burton, the rookie from Tennessee, makes the stop.
Steelers, I know, would love to come out and take control of this game on the ground. They feel they can do it, although they have been unable to do it thus far tonight. Youthful defensive unit of the Miami Dolphins. A couple of rookies starting on the left side, Gardner and Shane Burton, and a free safety, Sean Wooden. 3 rookies starting defensively.
Cordell Stewart in the game. It's third down and 3. Tomczak throws. Johnson makes a great catch. Hammered by Oliver. Holds on. First down up at the 34-yard line. Charles Johnson.
And a good read by Mike Tomczak and Johnson. The blitz was on. The Steelers came out with their 5 wideouts, and the Dolphins went right to the blitz. Johnson reads it, comes across the middle. Good concentration, takes a shot. He knows he's going to get it from Louis Oliver, but he holds on. And probably goes back to the huddle and looks at Mike and says, a little lower, please.
As if he can remember that it was Mike that threw it.
First and 10 at the 35-yard line. Bettis cuts it back. Picks up 3 up to the 38-yard line. Let's check in with Lynn Swanlin.
Well, Al, I talked to Jimmy Johnson when he came out for the second half, and he said he was surprised and very pleased with how well his offense ran the football, and he'll continue to do that. He said where he felt badly was, or where he had to improve, was with his defensive secondary. Mike Tomczak has given them more opportunities than just the 1 pick for the touchdown. He says they have to take advantage of to win this ball game. Al?
And we'll see if they can do that in the second half, because the lead is a tenuous one. Just 4 points, 14-10. Second down and 6 at the 39-yard line. Tomczak buying time with the fake to Bettis, and then throws, and it's caught by Hastings at midfield. They'll spot it at the Pittsburgh 49, and that's a first down.
That's a big-time delivery there. And going against Louis Oliver, you're going to get Hastings against Louis Oliver. You want to stay with that all night long.
but the protection allowed Hastings to come way back to the football. He makes his cut, and look how far back upfield he's able to come. And even when Tomczak delivered the ball, he didn't have anyone in a white jersey anywhere near him. Outstanding protection.
11.5 minutes left, third quarter. Miami leading 14-10. Bettis just across the 50-yard line, barely into Miami territory. A gain of a couple. Gardner and Burton, the brace of rookies, with the stop.
Anywhere you look on that Miami team, and it's a rookie. And of course, one of the great stories about the Steelers is Jerome Bettis. If he gets to 1,200 yards, which he most surely will, as you can see, he already at 1172, he becomes an unrestricted free agent. That was his contract negotiation with Pittsburgh, and they certainly want to keep him and will have to deal with him at the end of the year.
Steelers do a good job picking up the blitz, but the secondary also does a fine job, and the pass is thrown away, intended for Jonathan Hayes. Third down.
I don't know whose idea that was to allow Bettis to be a free agent when he gets 1,200 yards, but it is certainly going to work in Jerome's favor.
Yes. The Steelers inherited the original contract that he had signed with the Rams. Jerome in his 4th year out of Notre Dame. And Bill Cowher said, I don't want to negotiate with him during the season. I never feel that that's fruitful. But he's already started the process of, telling Jerome, hey, it's been a great year for you. You're great for this system. You love it in Pittsburgh. We love you, man. Third down and 8. Tomczak airs it out, and it's caught by Hastings at the 10-yard line.
And Jackson the culprit again, but Miami coming with the full blitz, and they got Jackson locked up with Charles Johnson in single coverage, and the Steelers picked up the blitz. Gave Tomczak all the time he wanted to throw that football. He threw it perfectly.
Well, Miami came with one of the slowest blitzes I've ever seen.
They don't do a lot of it.
Slow motion blitzes. They looped all the way in from the outside. Just textbook execution by Hastings and Tomczak. Perfect strike. A good catch laid out. Jackson's coverage wasn't awful.
They spotted at the 11 on 1st and 10. This is Lester making the catch, and Tim, who scored Pittsburgh's earlier touchdown, tackled by Oliver at about the 6-yard line. Chan Gailey, the offensive coordinator. Remember, the Steelers let Ron Earhart go after last season, and 2 years ago Dom Capers had been the defensive coordinator. Of course, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, Oliver hurt. Meanwhile, Bruner and Thigpen, they tell us, both done for the day, the tight end and wide receiver for Pittsburgh. And Oliver was something in his eye.
Bruner, they were working on his knee. Thigpen, it was the arch. And Lewis Oliver, one of the hardest hitting strong safeties in football. I don't know if he wears contacts or not.
That would clearly exacerbate the situation, as he will come to the sideline at least for one play.
Make it worse, too.
Yep, yes, it would. A total denigration of the situation. Sean Wooden comes into the game.
They do miss him down in their goal line defense, though he plays it like a linebacker, up very tight.
Michael Stewart also into the game now. Tomczak completing 67% of his passes.
And you saw that 220 yards plus on 21 attempts. Pretty good yards per attempt. Well over 10.
You see that other completion to Calvin Jackson that we won't put in the stats.
But Miami put it on the scoreboard.
2nd and 5 now from the 6. It's the opening drive of the third quarter. Miami up by 4. Bettis looks for room, plows forward, and has the first down. He's inside the 1, setting up a 1st and goal. Strelzik and Lester throwing the key blocks to spring him. 1st and goal at the 1.
We talked about his ability to go east and west. He can really hum it going north and south. If he puts that shoulder down, he is moving. And he's carrying about 250 pounds. He can put a hurting on you.
They are going to measure to make it official.
Mislinski 62, and again the first down, but he's making his 6th consecutive start tonight and filling in for Brendan Stye, their draft choice of a year ago. But boy, these guys have just a wonderful system going. Dermontti Dawson, there's Stye there over on the Steelers sideline, but anchored by Dermontti Dawson.
They're happy with Mislinski. He's done a good job.
And it allows them the opportunity to ease Stye back into it. He probably could have played tonight.
Slash Stewart at quarterback, and he tries to sneak his way in and somehow is able to push the pile. No signal yet.
No, I don't think Stewart pushed the pile.
Well,
he had somebody pushing
it appeared as if he did.
He runs a pretty straight up and down quarterback sneak, doesn't he?
They're not going to give it to him as he is a little short of the chalk.
Slash doesn't get a lot of body lean when he runs that quarterback sneak. He's trying to beat them with his hips.
And I think we might see it again.
George Hill, the Miami defensive coordinator. Louis Oliver back in the game. 2nd and goal, and Cordell Stewart's going to take a timeout, so they burn one here. With 8:02 left in the 3rd quarter, Pittsburgh down by 4, but knocking at the door. Well, Cordell Stewart comes in short yardage situations, and Mike Tomczak not happy about being yanked after guiding the team down to the 1-yard line.
And he was actually restrained by one of his teammates. Not really a good time to get upset because you've worked on this all week. It's a game plan. You know what you're going to do, and I wouldn't take on Bill Cowher in any situation.
2nd and goal now with Stewart at quarterback from inside the 1, and he leaps and scores.
That's why he's there.
Cordell Stewart takes it in. Mike Tomczak will come in to hold for Norm Johnson's conversion, and the Pittsburgh Steelers for the first time tonight have the lead.
You can certainly understand Mike Tomczak, though. You take the girl to the dance, but Cordell Stewart kisses her goodnight.
Yeah, but the deal is, I mean, they work on this all week long, and he knows what's going to happen.
And then marries her.
Excellent elevation.
We're going to give Dermontti Dawson 3 of those points.
How's that for some fabulous analysis?
I love it. Metaphoring with the best of them. Cordell holding on to the football. Johnson converts, and the Steelers are on top on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. It took 7 minutes. Pittsburgh 17, Miami 14. So the Miami Dolphins find themselves trailing for the first time tonight. Pittsburgh begins the 2nd half the way Miami started the game. Miami with a long and fruitful opening drive, and now Pittsburgh with the opening drive of the 2nd half, and this is taken by Robert Wilson. The kickoff is run back to the 30-yard line, and that's where Miami will set up shop for the first time in the 2nd half. 7:51 left in the 3rd. Steelers by 3. Here's tonight's Prudential Monday Night Fact. Dan Marino, now 35 years old, 14th year in the league. In January of '85, at the age of 23, the youngest quarterback ever to start a Super Bowl, losing to the San Francisco 49ers, and the game played at Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto.
When you look at Marino's career, one of the things that really jumps out is how good he was so soon. Dan Marino was, in reality, never a rookie.
From the 30-yard line, Abdul-Jabbar gets pushed back. And what's funny, too, Dan, is that, you know, that was the great class of '83 with Jim Kelly opting to go to the United States Football League, and Marino picked toward the end of that particular draft. And there it is. And just to follow up on the Prudential fact, Marino at the age of 23. David Woodley, you recall, a Dolphins, the 2nd youngest to start. Namath and Montana were each the exact same age, and then Ferragamo was the 5th youngest. 2nd down and 9 from the 31-yard line. And Abdul-Jabbar drops him. Of course, that class of '83 headed by John Elway.
Who, talk about not losing a step along the way.
What a
The
great
Denver
year he's
Broncos.
having.
Oh, my. And how about the year that entire Bronco team is having?
We asked why they did not use Kareem Abdul-Jabbar a little more in the passing game. Maybe he helped answer the question.
When I say that class of '83 was headed by Elway, I meant Elway was the first guy picked in that draft.
Elway, Marino, Kelly, Blackledge.
Yep.
Elway picked by Baltimore, correct?
Right.
Tony Eason was the other QB in that draft from
Went to New
Illinois.
England. And Dan has to spend a timeout. I'm very happy about that, obviously. 7:07 left in the third. 3rd and 9 after Miami had to spend a timeout. Third quarter, 7:07 left in the period, and Pittsburgh on top by 3. Stills coming down from above.
Steelers doing a much better job here in the second half against the Dolphins ground game. With the fire rush.
Oh, false start. Looks like James Brown at right tackle rocked back in his stance. Dan's going to argue that he was drawn. If one of those Steelers was in the neutral zone, if he was across the football and that caused Brown to rock back, that's now a penalty on the defense.
False start prior to the snap. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
The key is whether or not any of the Steelers were in the neutral zone. According to the officials, they weren't. Thus, it's a false start.
Steelers dancing all along the line of scrimmage, getting ready to come with the blitz. You can see them. They'll try to draw you off, and
there's the rock back, and I think that's a good call by the officials. The Steelers appear to be moving on their side of the football, not in the neutral zone.
They'll do it again right here.
The Steelers have not been penalized once tonight. 3rd down and 14. Marino buys time, and Woodson gets a hand in there to knock it away. There's a flag down now back at the 20-yard line.
Chad Brown screaming that he was held by Richmond Webb, the left tackle.
And he may well have been, but they'll decline it because the pass was incomplete. It'll be 4th down, and they're going to kick. Always a sign of great coaching when a team.
Holding. Offense number 76. Penalties decline. 4th down.
When a team year after year after year is right down at the bottom of the list in terms of penalties, and Pittsburgh tonight.
Watch the bottom of your screen. That's James Brown, the right tackle, and that is world-class holding. They didn't even have time to see Richmond Webb on the other side. That's as good as it gets.
John Kidd's second kick of the night, leading the league, averaging 47 yards a boot. This one taken by Andre Hastings at the 22-yard line, and he's chased down and tackled by Kirby Dardar. 53-yard boot to help the average a bit. 6-yard return. 6:50 left in the third. Steelers by 3. Bloodied USC Trojans. Didn't want to bring it up, Frank, but
they're hurting.
Yep.
John Daly and Tiger Woods starring in exploding golf balls.
Tomczak throws. It is dropped by Pegram. It's a forward pass, so incomplete. And that's the best thing that could have happened on that play.
Pegram wasn't taking any chances that it might have been construed as a lateral.
Eric Pegram was the starter here. Tore a ligament in his left knee back on the 16th of September, and he's just getting back to 100% and started to look upfield before he put that ball away.
Yeah, but it wasn't well thrown either. Thrown behind him. A little flip like that, you want to give your receiver a chance to look upfield as he catches the ball.
2nd and 10. Here's Pegram. Only to the 28-yard line. He's tackled there by Zach Thomas, setting up 3rd and long with 6.5 minutes to play in the third quarter, and the Steelers up by 3. Bill Cowher in his 5th season with the Steelers. Hard to believe at the age of 39. Still the 2nd youngest coach in the NFL, second only to Jeff Fisher at Houston.
Stop and think about what he has accomplished so much shy of his 40th birthday. We saw Shula honored at halftime tonight. You think about, Bill Cowher is one of those guys that if he stays in it for another 25 years, who knows?
He's the kind of guy who could do it, too. 3rd down and 8. And that's incomplete. And batted
I think Trace Armstrong might have got a hand on that.
He knocked it down, and it's 4th down. So 3 and out for the Steelers just when the Dolphins needed a 3 and out defensively. And the Steelers will punt for the first time in the game.
And they got this done with just a 4-man rush. When you can pressure the quarterback, and there's Armstrong, disrupts the play. And boy, a lot of times that's where a quarterback can hurt his arm.
Josh Miller, a left footer, a boomer, but a low kick, fielded by O.J. McDuffie at the 14-yard line, and he's able to run it back up to the 30-yard line. A 16-yard return off a 59-yard punt. And
Jerome Bettis
venting some frustration.
Well, relegated to the baseball hat on that series, and I don't think that thrilled him. This is a guy that would like to be in on every series. And quite frankly, the way he's been running the football, I know you're trying to get Eric Pegram back into the mix, and for a coach, it's tough, Frank.
That's a tough decision because you have Bettis. He's your hot runner tonight. You just almost have to stay with him.
That's what I'd think.
From the 29-yard line. Miami on first down. This is Abdul-Jabbar. And the flag is thrown as he takes it out to the 39. I mean, Cowher almost exercising the basketball coach's philosophy. It's a hold against Miami where you try to rest your key guys toward the end of the 3rd quarter and keep them fresh in the 4th. So maybe Bill has that in mind.
And maybe the 4th quarter of the season as well. He's trying to get. He knows he needs Pegram as things go along. And
holding. Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
There's only so much you can accomplish during practice. Eric Pegram does need to get some play during a game. Jeff Bucky, the rookie, called for the hold that brings it back. I can understand that in one sense, but boy, it'd be hard to take Jerome Bettis out of a ball game.
Yeah, they're good friends, so they get along great. But Jerome Bettis, when Pegram was out of the lineup, all of a sudden he got himself in a position where he could be the leading rusher in the league, and he's not going to be alternating, that's for sure.
He just wants 1,201.
He'll get it. That last penalty on the rookie Jeff Bucky. It's first down and 20, and Marino slings one up to the 33-yard line to Fred Barnett, who's tackled at the 35, so they get back 16 of the 20. Perry makes the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Is that not vintage Marino, though? What a unbelievable release. Back here now, watch him snap this off. Just right in the numbers. No, face mask, either one.
It was there.
He just does it so quickly.
2nd down 4 at the 35. Under 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Steelers leading by 3. Marino a ton of time, and that's enough to find Drayton, who breaks a tackle at the 45 and takes it inside the 30 to the 27. Caught by Willie Williams after he broke a Darren Perry tackle 20 yards upfield.
In shades of what Troy Drayton did in the game against Houston.
Same pattern.
Yep, same pattern, same part of the field down the far side. And Troy Drayton obtained from the St. Louis Rams for Billy Milner, an offensive lineman that wasn't doing anything here in Miami. And boy, has he helped the Dolphins passing game.
What a great pickup of the Pittsburgh Steeler blitz. Dan Marino with all the time he needed for Drayton to come from the opposite side of the field. Great blocking.
The move to get Drayton may go down as one of their better moves in '96.
Inside handoff. Stanley Pritchard picks up a couple. Jason Gilden makes the stop inside the 25-yard line.
Drayton, another guy that's a story here in Miami because he'll be a free agent at the end of this season, and one of Johnson's top priorities is going to be the signing of Troy Drayton.
Drayton had a couple pretty good years with the Rams too. A 2nd-round draft pick and others in '93. With the Dolphins, they went through about a half a dozen tight ends before they finally scored with Drayton.
2nd and 7 after the 24-yard line. Marino throws. Pritchard makes the catch, but there's no gain here. Carnell Lake coming up to make the tackle at the line of scrimmage and setting up a 3rd and 7.
I know what you're laughing about.
The whistle almost killed Cornell Lake.
Some of the hardest hits you see on the field during the course of a game is one defensive guy hitting another defensive guy. It's exactly what happened there.
Cornell Lake, what a superb year he had a year ago. One of the Been to the Pro Bowl as a safety, went to the Pro Bowl as a cornerback a year ago when he filled in for Rod Woodson midway through the season. Really set the defense for them a year ago and helped them get to the Super Bowl by moving to the corner.
6 of 9, a pretty good percentage for Miami.
This is a 3rd and 7, and Willie Williams gets a hand in there to knock it away. Intended for O.J. McDuffie.
Oh, that was one that was so close to being able to be picked off.
Now Nedney coming in for will be a 41 or 42 yard field goal attempt.
Willie Williams playing with a very sore shoulder, missed last week. They've been going at him all night long, but he makes the play there.
Williams, no stranger to interceptions, had 7 last year to lead the AFC.
42-yard attempt to try to tie it. Kidd puts it down, and Nedney boots it through. Joe Nedney, who won last week's game at the gun in Houston, bangs this one through at 2:34 to go in the 3rd, tied at 17.
You know, Frank, we got a second here. You know, our friends down at the Miami Project had a big event down there today, as they had a benefactor give them $10 million today. The Miami Project, important here in Miami because founded by Nick Bonacani and the injury to his son Mark, and a banner day for them today.
Mrs. Lois Pope from Palm Beach giving the Miami Project $10 million, and what great work they're doing. They're discovering all kinds of things that they felt that they couldn't do at the very beginning of their in-depth spinal research of the Miami Project, and they've just done a wonderful job there.
Nick's son Mark was paralyzed in an accident on the football field, and
what a classy man. Both of them, dad and
yes,
son.
I'll say. And congratulations to the Miami Project and Ms. Pope for that magnificent contribution.
Indeed, they have changed the whole thinking about spinal injury.
She was inspired by Christopher Reeve, and what a fabulous profile he's presenting in the face of a tough deal.
Yeah, that more than anything will be Nick Bonacani's legacy as Nedney sends one into the end zone, and Eric Pegram will bring it out. Breaks a tackle at the 15 and runs it back out to the 19-yard line. Tackle made by Michael Stewart. And there's a flag down way back. It's offside.
Not again.
Well, Mike Westhoff, the special teams coach, has seen this before tonight. It was Robert Wilson who was offside on the kick before.
Offsides. Kicking team, number 23. 5-yard penalty, free kick.
Lucky for Wilson.
Yes, very lucky for Wilson. That's Robert Bailey that time.
A 49 might have. It might even had Don Shula come down out of the box and chase him around. It's a long way to sprint down there to have to come back and do it again. And there is Don.
The vice chairman. Hard to say that.
He is the Miami Dolphins, and always will be. Jimmy Johnson's going to have to win a lot of football games here before he replaces Don Shula. And
well, Miami tonight with 7 penalties for 40 yards, and Pittsburgh zip.
Kenny Wolf, our world-class producer, telling us no team in the league has had 0 penalties for an entire game this year. As always, Kenny Wolf producing, Craig Janoff directing, and the best crew in television.
And that's going to be a pretty costly penalty because this kickoff's going to come down to the 13-yard line. And Eric Peter, well, not so costly as it turns out. Sean Hill knocks him down at the 20 and then some.
No need for a victory lap. That's good hit.
That's what you're supposed to do, Sean.
Yeah. That was a pretty fair poke. I'd say that thing happened about 120 yards from where we're sitting, and I could hear it pretty plainly.
I'll tell you, they were closing at an incredible rate of speed.
Look at this. Craig even has an ISO on him here. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Crowd responds to it as they watch the replay along with you. 2:11 to go in the period. First down from the 20-yard line as Tomczak to Bettis to the 25-yard line. Tackled there by Darrell Gardner.
And in a tie ball game here at the end of the third quarter, 36 back in the fold.
Pegram had his little run. We'll go back to the man who's carrying the load here tonight.
Eric Pegram, you can hardly knock what he's done. Came into this game with 55 carries, but a 5.7 yards per carry average. Those are lofty numbers.
League average is 3.8 per carry. 2nd and 3. That's a first down. Charles Johnson makes the catch, and he's wrapped up as Calvin Jackson makes the tackle up at the 31-yard line. Third quarter winding down. The Steelers 6-0 at home, but 2-3 on the road. And the Dolphins trying to go 2 up over the 500 mark. The 49ers, meanwhile, with their lofty 9-3 record. Steve Young at one point yesterday completed 20 straight passes, and coming off their win over Washington, take on the Atlanta Falcons next week from the Georgia Dome on Monday Night Football. First down at the 31-yard line. Tomczak buys time, throws, and then Buckley was there, intended for Charles Johnson. Second down.
I'm assuming he threw that away, Frank.
I'm hoping that he was throwing it away.
If he didn't, he's telling people he threw it away.
He was cutting it awfully close. We'll take a look. Charles Johnson working one-on-one with Buckley.
Buckley maintaining a lot of contact well beyond the 5-yard zone.
Johnson didn't even know it was coming.
Buckley had a hold of his jersey well downfield. Could have been nabbed for that.
2nd and 10. Bettis looking for room. Gets by Singleton.
You know, that
turns it on. Out of bounds. First down up at the 44-yard line.
250-pound guys aren't supposed to be able to do that.
Hey, and he is juking defensive backs, not big defensive linemen. Calvin Jackson just left there hanging for air.
That's
Singletary.
Jackson, I don't think, ever did end up touching him.
Watch this. This is the guy that weighs 250 pounds. The quick feet. Amazing. And that is Singleton.
That's Singleton. And Singleton never does. Maybe gets a hand on the back of his pants. That's about the best Singleton could do.
16 carries for 80 yards. It's a 5-yard average. And he loses the football, and the Dolphins have it. Trace Armstrong at the bottom of the pile had his arms wrapped around the ball.
That's Bettis' 7th fumble of the year.
Well, they haven't given it to Miami yet. It certainly looked like Armstrong corralled it.
Yeah.
Well, a good drive underway for the Steelers.
And that's Pittsburgh's 3rd turnover of the night.
He wasn't just carrying it loose.
Well, I think Armstrong actually created it.
Yep.
He did. He knocked it out of him.
Well, that's a one-man effort by Armstrong. Makes the tackle, causes the fumble, recovers the fumble.
That is leading all running backs in fumbles. So Armstrong with the Quinella, giving Miami great position at the 42. And barring a penalty here, it'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. Dan Marino at the 43-yard line. Abdul-Jabbar is tackled by Gilden, a loss of 2, and we've played 3 in Miami. Pittsburgh 17, the Dolphins 17, and Monday Night Football returns after this from our ABC stations. With frustration now as Miami has it at the 45-yard line. 2nd down and 12 as we start the 4th quarter. The game tied at 17. And Marino throws, and it's behind Fred Barnett, but he reaches back and makes the catch at the 39-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 7. And let's take a look at the numbers through the first 45 minutes of play. Game time at 17. The Steelers already 321 total yards tonight, but 3 turnovers.
One of them returned for a touchdown. Calvin Jackson taking it in.
Third and 7. Marino knocked down at the 49. Chad Brown gets the sack. And that's 11 this season for Brown. He had 9.5 at home and 1/2 on the road coming into the game tonight.
And Chad Brown working against one of the very best in the game, left tackle Richmond Webb. A beautiful spin to the inside. That's an outstanding move. Chris Dolman was really good at that move. A guy that used to play back in the old days, Ron McDowell, another one of the classic spin artists back to the inside. And boy,
he did that. He went out of this game earlier with a bad ankle.
He left Webb dangling in midair.
Kid's punt bounces into the end zone. That was such a great spin move. Dick Button and Peggy Fleming should have illustrated that baby.
That was a sit spin.
Yes, it was.
That's a football player.
Justin Strelzik, talented right tackle of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Maine University.
Looks like Grizzly Adams.
Yeah. Played for the Black Bears in Maine.
Ooh, he really looks like
Grizzly Adams.
Is that really their nickname?
That's their nickname.
The Black Bears?
You bet. At the 20-yard line, first down. As Jerome Bettis roams his way out to the 34-yard line. He's tackled there.
Is he a free agent yet?
Well, he is now.
I think he might be.
Unless he has like 11 consecutive losses. That's 94 yards tonight and up and over the 1,200 mark for the season.
Ooh, he knows it too. Cha-ching. His pager just went off. His agent. Jerome, we've hit the mother load.
He had 100 yards in our Buffalo game. He had 100 yards in the Kansas City game, and he's looking for another one right here. He likes Monday night.
First down from the 34-yard line. Tom Zach throws and throws it away. Andre Hastings, the nearest recipient. It'll be 2nd and 10. Monday Night Football from Miami is being brought to you by Ford Escort. It's new and it's nifty, made for the smart, the intelligent, thrifty. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. Southwest Airlines, with fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. And Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better.
That's not the Mississippi.
Nope.
That's the Inland Waterway in beautiful Miami.
2nd down 10. Bettis for a yard to the 35. Emptman makes the tackle. 12:45 to go in the 4th. It'll be 3rd and 9. Mike Tomczak recently really struggling in the 4th quarter. And there it is in the 4th quarter this month. And this is their 4th game of the month. 0 for 10, 3 picks.
And he was also struggling to hear the call from the sidelines.
You know, the computer's working overtime to come up with that.
And amazingly, they've won 2 of those 3 games. 3rd and 9. Tomczak throws, and he is still 0 for November. Intended for Pegram.
Good coverage by the Dolphins downfield. Tomczak had time. No receiver.
Steelers to punt. Josh Miller with a line of scrimmage, the 35-yard line, and O.J. McDuffie ready to run it back for Miami. McDuffie calls for the fair catch, a 47-yard boot to the 18. Marino and the Dolphins start from there. 12:01 left in regulation. Tied at 17. Miami, Al Michaels with Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf, and Lynn Swan. 12:01 left, 4th quarter. Game tied 17-17, and the Dolphins have it. The football Dolphins at the 20. Marino. And It's caught up at the 35-yard line by Fred Barnett. Up to the 37 is where he's tackled by Rod Woodson. A first down.
And touched on it earlier. It's really a dilemma when you only bring 3 of your down linemen from your 3-4. They pick them all up, and you give Marino time to sit back there and pick out a receiver. Barnett with a little move turns Woodson around, and he's right there. Marino has all the time in the world to get the delivery. And in the past, after this has happened, Dan, they've come right back with the blitz.
First down from the 37-yard line. Flag. Abdul-Jabbar taken down by Gilden.
And Chad Brown again drops Dan Marino. They came with a late blitz. Carnell Lake from the backside. He was no factor. It's Brown who again gets in on Dan Marino, and a holding call against the Miami Dolphins.
Well, Chad Brown's doing an amazing job.
Oh, he's turning in. He's having a career game here tonight.
He's limping between every play.
Illegal use of the hands to the face. Offense number 66. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Chad Brown may not come out of this game. He's had some 4- and 5-sack games before, but he is really all over Dan Marino. That time he gets inside Bucky, the left guard. And I think the call was against it ended in a 6. So I'm assuming it was McIver, the right guard, Everett McIver.
Right.
He gets flagged for the hands to the face.
First and 20. Good blitz pickup. Marino then lost it too far, intended for Abdul-Jabbar, covered by Gilden. Second and 20. Jimmy Johnson, when he took over the team for Don Shula, he said, the great thing is I don't have to coach, but I still want to coach. And it was just too golden an opportunity, and not necessarily financially, but in terms of the power that he has and the control he has over the team.
And we asked him his 2 biggest surprises, and he said, well, the talent that was here wasn't as good as I thought, and my rookies ended up being better than I thought.
And the owner, Wayne Heisinger, much more committed than he thought.
Second and 20, and that's caught by McDuffie up at the 39-yard line, about 9 yards shy of the first down.
One of the Dolphins slow getting up back there. That Richmond Webb.
Oh, Jay McDuffie, what a clutch receiver he is. 3rd and long, wouldn't be surprised if they go right back to McDuffie.
One of the things they really need here in Miami, though, is a speed receiver on the outside. McDuffie, a much better receiver in the slot. That's where Johnson would like to play him, but he can't until he gets someone with some real outside speed in that outside receiver position, either the X or the Z.
Well, this is his down, 3rd down when you need the first.
They have to get to their own 48 to convert, and he's going deep and off the fingertips of Randall Hill. And a flag is thrown. Deion Figures covering on the play. There's the flag.
That's the
along
speed
the sideline.
That's the speed you were talking about, Dan, but he just has not worked into the offense yet.
First penalty of the night against the Steelers.
And what a big one.
Interference. Defense. Number 21. First down.
On the top of your screen, that's Deion Figure right here when Hill goes to the outside. Figures was caught, and he reached out with his right arm and grabbed on to Randall Hill. He bit on a move back to the inside, was surprised when Hill went around him upfield and grabbed him.
First and 10 at the 35-yard line. Abdul-Jabbar picks up about 3 to the 32-yard line. Kevin Henry making the stop.
Tied at 17. The Dolphins almost within field goal range. Probably are.
Well, you're back at a 32, back to 39, a 49-yarder. Certainly within Nedney's range, distance-wise. Joe just doesn't split those uprights every time.
Second and 7. 2nd and 7 at the 32-yard line. Abdul-Jabbar cuts it back. Takes it to the 30-yard line. That's a pickup of 2. It'll be 3rd down and 5 at the 30-yard line.
Coming into tonight, Nedney was 13 of 21 on the field goals.
Well, he made one tonight from 41 after he had missed one in the 2nd quarter of 56.
So he's 14 of 22 for the season.
Yep. That 56-yarder was long enough. It was just a little wide.
His best, however, is what, 44 yards
this year. Yep. 3rd down and 5 at the 30-yard line. 4-man rush. Pressure put on by Brown, and the pass is too high, intended for McDuffie, who's covered by Woodson.
Oh, and Marino's upset that he had to deal with Chad Brown. Chad Brown limping noticeably as he works his way back to the Steelers huddle.
Chad Brown has been right in Marino's face all night.
I think we're going to see that spin again. Pritchett tries to cut him. Brown doesn't go on, stays on his feet. Boy,
Marino had to throw it early.
This is some effort by Chad Brown.
So the left-footed Nedney to kick. It'll be spotted at the 38. 48-yard kick. John Kidd puts it down. And Nedney's kick is long enough.
There's that
but
hook
no
again.
good.
There's the hook.
He's got that down.
Exactly the same type of kick that he missed earlier.
And good field position now for Pittsburgh.
At their own 38 with 8.5 minutes to play in the 4th. Tied at 17.
Started out in the fairway, ended up in the rough.
Pretty picture for Pittsburgh when you have Yancey Thigpen and Greg Lloyd both in civvies. Thigpen with an arch strain tonight, so he's out for the rest of the night. As Jerome Bettis picks up 2 to the 40-yard line. 8.5 to go in the 4th quarter. 2nd down and 8 upcoming. Zach Thomas making the tackle. The game time at 17.
And right now, Jerome Bettis, a very happy man that his fumble didn't end up costing his Steelers any points. I suspect that he'll be concentrating a lot more on holding on to the football here at this crucial stage of the game. Zach Thomas, half of the Fred and Barney show with Izzo.
Bettis on 2nd and 8, taken down by Darrell Gardner after a gain of 2, setting up a key 3rd and 6 at the 42-yard line. And Jerome Bettis, we can tell you no player in history has rushed for 100 or more yards in 3 games in 1 season, and Jerome is right on the cusp. 97 yards, 21 rushes out here on the 3rd down play. That's on Monday Night Football 3 times in the season.
Marcus Allen did it 11 times in a row.
Tomczak throws, and it's Cordell Stewart. He does not make the catch at the 50.
And he had 1st down yardage.
Didn't have control.
And Mike Tomczak under a lot of pressure. And just a straight 4-man rush, and the Steelers don't handle it.
That's surprising.
That is surprising.
Now Josh Miller, O.J. McDuffie is back. Calls for the fair catch. 43-yard boot taken at the 15-yard line with 7 minutes, 1 second remaining in the 4th quarter.
Well, good series there by Miami defensively, forcing Pittsburgh into a 3-and-out. And they're putting the ball in the hands of a guy who's been there before. This is a defensive unit that came into tonight. Again, we talked early in the show about what a wonderful turnaround they have made in their play against the run. Victimized a lot last year, gave up those 341 yards rushing to Buffalo in the playoffs, and came into tonight giving less, about 88 yards a game, and that is that's some turnaround.
Put Marino in an opportunity to go for number 42 4th quarter winning drives. Saw the graphic a moment ago. Best ever with 41.
1st down at the 15-yard line. the play fake didn't buy enough time as
I think
Israel
Dan
Raybon, number 91, came in. Marino was starting to go down, and Raybon finished him off.
Yeah, Dan went back and went to plant, and it looked like he slipped.
Like maybe his knee brace locked or something. It was really an awkward move.
Something went wrong with his left leg, it looked like. Yep, right there. He kind of went down on his instep, and rather than get a spike in the ground, it slid out from underneath him. Lucky he held on to the football. He just had it. It pays to have big hands, and Dan Marino has big hands as he just was palming that football and able to hold on to it.
2nd and 17 after Israel Raybon gets a gift sack. And that's deflected and almost picked off. Incomplete. Chad Brown almost got it after the deflection on the pass intended for Stanley Pritchett. 3rd down and 17 now.
All the time in the world, but good coverage downfield. The Steelers coming with just the 3 down linemen, giving Marino a lot of time, but the coverage was good.
Dan put the ball right on Pritchett's hands, not able to corral it in, not able to hold on to it, and they're very fortunate that wasn't picked off.
Spread formation out of the shotgun. Marino on 3rd and 17. Guns one, and McDuffie can't hold on. Up at the 37-yard line. 4th down. And the Steelers should come out of this with pretty good field position.
Marino put on McDuffie's hands, but Darren Perry had pretty good coverage on McDuffie.
The OJ had to pirouette. He had to spin around behind him.
We've seen him catch that before, but I mean, that was a tough catch.
And it's about the only place Dan could put the ball where it's not going to be picked off.
That's exactly what he did. He had to put it in the backside.
But that's a tough move for McDuffie.
John Kidd to kick. Andre Hastings to run it back. Whistle before the snap. Robert Wilson was moving of Miami.
False start prior to the snap. Number 49. Half the distance to the goal. Still 4th down.
Second time Wilson's been flagged tonight.
And now Kidd well back in his end zone. Has to be careful of that end line. If he drops his foot back there when that ball's in the air and happens to touch the white portion back there, that's a safety.
Kidd a 47-yard average. If he boots 147 here, Hastings will take it at the Steeler 49. And it's a low line drive at the Miami 47 is where Hastings comes up with it.
I think Hastings would like to try that again.
Sean Hill knocks him down at the 45-yard line, but the Steelers in good shape now at the Miami 45-yard line. 6:04 remaining in the 4th quarter. The Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes providing the Scenics tonight on a spectacular night in South Florida. Temperature around 72, 73 degrees.
Which is it?
72.6.
My favorite number.
First down at the 45-yard line. Bettis necktie by Thomas at the 41-yard line.
Well, I think of all the rookies, he probably is the most amazing story. Zach Thomas coming in the 5th-round draft pick out of Texas Tech. Remember our preseason game? We came down here and Jimmy Johnson, he just couldn't believe what he had found in number 54.
Look, he calls him a tackling machine
and a munchkin.
And there's a good look at it. That's bringing down a guy that's about the same size.
And bringing down a guy who just went up and over the 100 mark. 101 yards and a lot more here for Jerome Bettis as he takes it to the 34. And that's a first down. Thomas making the tackle. Clock ticking down. 5:12 left in regulation.
And you're seeing right there the effect that Jerome Bettis has on a defense.
He scatters the bodies, doesn't he?
They sure do. And they start, as the game goes on, they start getting up slower and slower. The walk back to that huddle is further and further, and they're just these guys are starting to show a little wear and tear.
George Hill, the defensive coordinator, they look like pins in a bowling alley, which is an appropriate way to describe it because Bettis is an avid bowler and has bowled a 300 game. Here he is again.
Several 300 games, I think.
Takes it to the 30-yard line.
Not that that matters now, but it was a good point, Al. They are scattering. This is a case, so right now, if you're Chan Gailey, do you do anything but throw Bettis at them time after time after time?
Well, if he does, he'll be doing something wrong.
I just keep him coming.
If you do anything, you go play action off it.
2nd down and 6 at the 30-yard line.
I had a 2:25 game one time.
Jerome again. And he angles his way to the 26. It'll be 3rd and 2. Thomas again making the tackle. So if they gain nary a yard here, it would be about a 43-yard attempt for Norm Johnson. It's 3rd down and a short 2.
Steelers very, very effective on 3rd and short yardage. And that, of course, because of their outstanding offensive line and the big man Jerome Bettis. Cordell Stewart, of course, comes in on the short yardage. He runs the option. We've seen him do it several times tonight. He also has a roll-out that they give him.
3rd, long 1, short 2. And a counter, and he keeps it and moves it to the 22-yard line for a 1st down.
And that works because of the success that they had earlier out of that exact 3-back formation of running the option.
Running the option to the left. He gave it a little fake to the left here, right there, and then he brings it back. And the Dolphins were thinking option left.
He does bring a lot to the dance, doesn't he, when he comes in there in that situation?
2:45 left in the 4th. The game time at 17. 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. Bettis out of the eye this time. Gets a block from Lester and takes it to the 21-yard line where Shane Burton makes the tackle.
Bill Cowher likes it, but this is blue-collar football. This is just winning it at the line of scrimmage right now. And Miami's going to take timeout.
So timeout Miami. 2:27 left in regulation. And Miami has to think about the fact that since Pittsburgh is very much in field goal range, it's almost as if you're calling your timeouts predicated upon the eventuality that Pittsburgh will kick a field goal.
I think you're exactly right.
And Bettis now 41 yards back of Terrell Davis of Denver, who leads the league. So you're compelled to take your timeouts here, save as much time as you can on the clock. They have 2 more timeouts plus the 2-minute warning, and there it is up to the 2nd. Davis at 12:77, and then Bettis is 2nd and Terry Allen 3rd.
You're right, Al. You're conceding the field goal. The best you can hope for is that you force them to kick it as quickly as possible. Right now, though, I think we can count on Bettis and company hammering it away. A 1st down really hurts Miami.
2nd and 8. And they stop him at the 20-yard line. And that's Hollier and Zach Thomas making the tackle. And now Miami will take another timeout. So they have 1 remaining.
And then they still have the 2-minute warning coming up.
Yep, actually they have 0 remaining because Dan had to take 1 earlier. So they're out of timeouts right now. So they have 1 left at the 2-minute warning, the free one.
But had they not taken that timeout, Pittsburgh would have taken it down to the 2-minute warning, no question.
Sunday night on ESPN, that's the matchup, and it's a good one as the Patriots come off their win yesterday, a mark of 8-4. And the Chargers went in and blew the Kansas City Chiefs away at Arrowhead, and not many teams do that. And that's your matchup from San Diego on ESPN Sunday night at 8 Eastern and 5 Pacific.
Chargers getting a lot of prime time action here, huh? We're there a couple of times now. Our compatriots at ESPN go into the Murph, and every time Bobby Ross's club looks like it's fading off into the sunset, they rise again.
Yep. 7 and 5 coming into that action next Sunday. If Pittsburgh wins this game tonight, Denver would be the first team in the league to clinch a playoff spot. 3rd down and 8. And Tomczak to throw. with time. Goes deep, wide open, touchdown, Ernie Mills.
Fabulous call by Chan Gailey.
A great call.
Yes, sir.
And a good delivery by Tomczak. He paid the price.
Yep.
He held the football until his receiver cleared, but he took a shot.
Well, and because of the running game, Mike Tomczak just stands and stands and stands. This took at least 6 seconds. Buckley in a chase position all the way, runs into his own guy in the end zone. Ernie Mills all alone.
Ernie Mills coming back from an ACL surgery. He injured his knee in the Super Bowl last year and is just now working back into 100% shape.
Terrell Buckley going, how long am I supposed to stay with a guy? And it's tough enough without running into my own teammate.
Ernie Mills scoring his first touchdown since the injury in Tempe last January. And Mike Tomczak takes quite a time to complete his first fourth quarter pass in the month of November. He had been 0 for 12.
And watch the hit he takes after. But again, the play action holds the defense. And he takes the shot. Mills working along the back of the baseline. He's right there.
It's play action that means something. When you fake the ball to Jerome Bettis with the kind of night that Bettis has had tonight, it's a meaningful play action pass. That's why it was successful. Nothing in this game has really changed all that much. When you can run the football, you can win. And even though that's a pass for a touchdown, it's made possible by the success the Steelers have had running the ball.
And here's Mr. Fourth quarter drive himself.
He'll have to pull this one out without a timeout. But he has time, 2:10, and the clock will stop at the 2-minute warning. What Miami doesn't need here is a 10-second run back. Because in effect that negates the timeout. They'd love to take over with about 2:02.
And it'll be very close.
Well, they only want that 10-second run back if it happens to go for about 80 yards.
Right. Johnson sends it down to the 2-yard line, and Irving spikes, is knocked down at the 23, and it just does tick down to exactly 2.
1 second.
Oh, you're good call, Al. That hurt.
Yep.
That hurt them.
So the 2-minute warning, and Marino has 120 seconds and no timeouts to go 77 yards. Magic tonight. He'll need it. 41 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or overtime.
I wonder how many without any timeouts.
He has 2 minutes. He has a first down at the 23-yard line. Steelers with 6 DBs in the game. Marino out of the shotgun. Randall Hill makes the catch. And he's out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Dion Figures with the coverage. 2nd and 4.
Again, a quick read of the blitz. Nobody to pick up the blitz, so Marino had to unload it quickly.
Yeah, Pittsburgh doesn't know from any prevent defense, do they? 6 DBs, but that doesn't mean they're not coming.
The necessity when you come like that is sure tackling. Because when you come with the blitz, a lot of times you end up with that one-on-one, and the guy's got to make the tackle. Here they come again.
Yep. Zone blitz this time as it's a first down. Caught by
who kept him in bounds.
Yep, he stays in bounds. Clock keeps running. Line of scrimmage is the 39.
If they keep coming, it's very difficult to go deep. You'll have to throw just about everything underneath with the blitz.
Man rush. Marino throws. Hill gets open inside the 30, and Hill is thrust out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
Well, he got in between the 2 defenders, and he has blazing speed. We talked about it earlier.
45-yard gain.
Well, Willie Williams just lets him go without much of a challenge.
He's looking for help from the inside, but you got to play him tighter than that.
Williams, number 27, just lets Hill off the line of scrimmage. Watch this. That boy, you got to stop his upfield momentum more than that.
And Dan, Myron Bell didn't get over to help either.
Williams in a chase position all the way. Or they'd love to have just one timeout at their disposal.
They come again. It is caught by Scott Miller this time. So the seldom used Hill and the rarely used Miller have caught back-to-back passes, and they're inside the 10.
But
Second and 2 at the 8.
But the often used Dan Marino is doing it again. How about this?
They just can't get to him quickly enough. They're not picking up all the blitz men, but he's just getting rid of the ball.
It's taken him 45 seconds to go from his own 23 down to the Steeler 8-yard line. Second and 2. 1:15 left in regulation. Marino with time and then throws, and it's high. O.J. McDuffie, the intended receiver. 3rd and 2.
Things do get a little tighter down here.
Boy, McDuffie was open, too.
Dick LeBeau come up with just about everything he's got, and this is the game you play. Gary Stevens, the offensive coordinator, calling the plays down. They're going into Marino, but he's given so much leeway. He can do pretty much what he wants.
Well, he's got 3 receivers to the near side here.
And on 3rd and 2, it's caught by Parmalee, and he is stopped short of the first down, so it's 4th down. And now they have to convert. At worst, Figures makes the tackle. And under a minute to play.
And that's a heck of a play by Deion Figures, and Parmalee is still hurt. That is just an all-pro tackle by Deion Figures in a crucial situation. He's on a receiver. He lets him go when he sees the short pass to Parmalee and comes up with a world-class stick.
And I don't think this is an act by Parmalee either. He was really smashed.
It'll still cost them, I believe, 10 seconds under these circumstances here without a timeout and an injury timeout.
And look at this hit.
Look at that tackle by Figures.
That just stunned Parmalee.
It stops the clock. It's an injury timeout. It's a rule that was put in a few years ago. There's a 10-second runoff, so the clock goes from 52 to 42. But the most compelling thing now is they have to convert. It's 4th down and 1.
And the clock is now running.
4th and 1 from the 7. Marino with the game on the line, throws off the fingertips of Scott Miller. And the Steelers can start to celebrate.
Well, that call is going to be questioned. Clock moving at what, about 27, 28 seconds. Should they have gone for the first down and then spiked the ball?
So they lose it on downs. Brown comes limping off, but the Steelers are going to go home with a mark of 9-3.
Just off the fingertips. Scott Miller couldn't handle it. A thrill of victory.
And it was, again, give credit to the Steelers secondary. First of all, with Deion Figures for the big tackle that sets up the 4th down play, and the coverage on 4th down.
So the game is over. The Steelers with a mark of 9-3. The Dolphins are now 7-6.
And Cowher is what, 10-1 now on Monday night?
On Monday night, and the Denver Broncos are now officially in the playoffs. The Broncos, the first team in the National Football League to clinch a postseason berth. Mike Shanahan's team is 11-1. Bill Cowher takes his team into Baltimore next week, and Miami has a big one in California against the Raiders in Oakland. Miami with a mark of 6 wins and 6 losses. And a reminder, you can check out the NFL's new